All right. Hey guys, and welcome to a brand spanking new video. Before we dive off into this video, I first want to just say thank you guys so much for those of you that have been rocking with me for a while now. And happy new year. I can't believe we are in 2025. Like, whew, where does the time go? So 2024 is done. We are in 2025, and I do wish you guys all of the absolute best for 2025, and I hope you're able to crush all of your goals. So, speaking of goals, my goal with this video is to just talk really briefly about some of the results that I had for this past December, specifically for KDP, and just talk about what my plans are going forward. So we're going to go ahead and dive in, but before we do, I'd love for you guys to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. And so let's go ahead and get into this. Also, for any of you that may be interested in any of the resources that I have available, as far as starting to learn how to build a brand to sell more low content books, and just any other of the trainings that I have, and also the freebies that I have, all of that information is going to be linked below, so you can check it out when you have a chance. But let's go ahead and let's dive in. So really quickly, I wanted to go over and talk through just some of the growth that I've had since I've started. So for those of you that are new to my channel and may not know anything about me, I got started in 2021 with KDP. So I really wanted to go through really quickly and show you guys just a breakdown of some of the growth that I've had since 2021. And yeah, so let's get into this. So as you can see, as I stated, I got started in 2021. I really didn't have that many books. I did not have 600 books. And I wish there was a way that Amazon could update this and reflect how many books you actually have that are published and live. A lot of my books that I used to have are no longer published. I've unpublished a lot of them this year, kept some of them up. I think I have about 300 actually live, but excuse me, this is just really not an accurate depiction of how many books that I have published. Anyways, as you can see, in December of 2021, that was my first official Q4. And I was able to make $2,955.33, which is good for my first time. I really didn't know what to expect. It was my first experience, so I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. Now, if we come on over to 2022, as you can see, it was pretty epic. I was really pleasantly surprised and blown away by these numbers because I did not know what to expect. I just, tried to do the best that I could. Now, the biggest difference that I did make with 2022 is that I had launched a new set of books, which is what I talk about in From Publish to Profit, is publishing and the benefits of publishing sets of books instead of just one-off books here and there, and then building a brand around those books. But anyways, I had just published the one set of books. I didn't really know how things were going to go. And what do you know? I was shocked to see that I had made $11,317.44. So talk about a huge jump from 2021 to 2022. So don't let people, and this is for those of you that are new to KDP, don't let people say to you that it's crowded, it's too many people doing it, etc., etc. You can't make money. It's not true. You definitely can if you have the right strategies and etc. in place. Okay, so you definitely can make some decent coin with KDP. So we're going to fast forward now to 2023. 2023, again, it's my third Q4. Surprised, happy. I really didn't launch any new books, many new books for 2023. I just kind of kept what I had. And that was pretty much it. I probably had a few books, maybe a few books that I did create, but not very many at all. So I was able to pull in $13,609.79, which is actually really, really good. I did make a little bit more, of course, if we go back, than I did in 2022. So I was really, really okay with that, of course, right? I was pleasantly surprised. So now we're going to now we're going to come over to 2024. Now I'm going to have to say, I really didn't have any idea as far as how 2024 was going to go. In fact, one of the guys that I talked to in in a mastermind group that I'm a part of, I told him, I was like, I don't know what to expect. I'm nervous because I really haven't launched a lot of books. I don't have really a lot of new things out there. I just kind of made a few books here and there, but I really didn't do too much. You know what I mean? And so I was really nervous. I did launch a new set of books. I'll take that back. I did launch a new set of books. They were activity books, but I wasn't really sure how they were going to sell. They had sold pretty well during the year, but I was just like, oh, it's Q4. I don't know, maybe they'll sell okay, maybe not. So, but one of the things that I did go through and do, and I talked about this, I think, on the channel, is that I did go through and I updated some of my older covers that I felt were, a little antiquated. So I updated those, I updated some of the interiors, and I did try some new things for 2024. And so here are the results of what happened. This far exceeded my expectations. I am still in shock. I did not think that this was going to happen. I'm going to move this over, but I had no freaking idea, guys, that this is going to happen. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how things were going to go because, like I said, I really didn't do a lot this year for Q4. So it definitely far exceeded my expectations for what I was able to make, which is $25,522.97. Again, I'm still in shock. I really am. And so with this, I definitely broke a number of records. I had my first 1K plus day. And in fact, I had 12 consecutive 1K plus days in this month, which is a record for me. I had never had a $1,000 day, never. The record day that I did have for this month or for December was $1,600 in one day. I thought it was going to reach $2,000, but it was $1,600 in one day. I really do believe if I had a bigger budget, I could have made 30K this month. I just had a certain set budget that I had. I stuck to that budget, and that's just what it was. And these are the results from this. So we're just going to do a live screen here or a live shot here because I don't want people to think that I'm lying. So here is my actual account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a refresh. I just want people to know that I'm not like lying. So you can see that we're going to go to last month. Okay. And this is it right here. This is it. All right. So yeah, that is the report. All right. So just don't want people to think that I'm lying. So now I'm going to go back here, but that is it. All right. So now let's talk about the ad spend that I had because I did spend quite a bit of money in ads. But I didn't actually do too bad, to be honest with you. So for ad spend for the different marketplaces that I decided to target, for the US marketplace, I spent about $932.10, had an ACoS of 11.49%. My sales were $8,114.89. For the UK marketplace, I spent $509.72. My ACoS was really low, which is good. And then I made about $4,992.23 for the UK. For Canada, I spent $229.59. ACoS was below 9%, which is great. And now this really shocked me with Canada. The sales were $26.96.55. That really shocked me. I actually did much better than I thought I was going to do in Canada. All right, so for the Australia marketplace, I spent $45.82. ACoS was below 7%. I had $668.69 in sales. And then last but not least is Germany. I spent $116.35. ACoS was 14.99, which is good. I had $775.94 in sales. So my total ad spend for December was $1,833.58, which is actually really good. I was hoping that I wouldn't spend no more than $2K. Honestly, that was my budget. So that definitely was well below the budget. My gross profit was $25,522.97. And so my net profit was $23,689.39. So suffice to say, this was a pretty good and epic for me December. It really, really was. I was not expecting this. So here's some things worth noting. And this is why I talk a lot about the importance of building sets or publishing books in sets. Is that there were two sets of books that made the majority of the sales. Okay, so we see the 80-20 rule is really on full display with this. So as you can see here, it's 10 books that made the $21,861.25. And so this is all the way 80-20 rule, meaning that there's going to be a small number of books that make up the majority of your sales. And I'm actually okay with that. I'm working on building out with the books that sold the best, more books within those sets to have that people can come and buy from. Right now, I'm pretty happy with the sets and just continuing to build out the brand and things like that around these sets of books. All right. Okay, so here's a quick breakdown of the sales per marketplace. So we can see that the US had 49.6% of all the sales. The UK came in behind the US at 25%. Canada was not far behind, which is really shocking to me. Was not far behind the UK with 16.5%. Then we have Australia that came in at 4.7% of the sales. And last but not least was Germany, which was not far behind. So Germany and Australia were kind of neck and neck with the sales. So Germany was 4.1% and Australia was 4.7%. So a pretty decent breakdown there. I actually wanted to see the UK pull a little bit more, but that's okay. The US is where most people do their shopping. So other expenses, one I did forget to add was BookBeam, but these are just the bulk of the expenses that I do have every month for running my KDP biz. They were not really that expensive and they're not really that crazy, which is great. So ChatGPT Plus, I pay $20 a month for this. Highly recommend it. Ideogram is an AI tool that I'm using a lot now to design covers with text on them. I paid $20 a month for that. I did outsource a couple of interiors for some new activity books that I'm working on. So I spent about $60 or so for those on Fiverr. Creative Fabrica, I pay about $5 a month. Canva Pro, I pay about $15 a month. And Evernote, I pay $15 a month, which I'm actually going to get rid of that because I really don't use it like that. So I'm probably going to be getting rid of that. And so it comes out to about $129.95. And actually with BookBeam, which is at $30 a month, it's a little bit more, but it's still under around $150, $160 a month, which is not too expensive. So I'm really, really grateful for that. Now, here are some of the strategies and things that I did implement and some of the things that I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I feel like they did make a pretty big difference. So number one is going to be BookBeam. I talk about BookBeam a lot. I have a video that talks about how you can find niches to profit from that have a lot of buyer traffic and things with them with BookBeam. But for me, BookBeam has been an absolute game changer in helping me to research profitable niches faster. So there's a category explorer tool that was really helpful in helping me see, with Christmas time, what kind of books sold the best. And so from that, I was able to take some of that information and implement it this Q4. Number two is creating books that give me higher return on my investment, aka more coin per book. So one thing that I'm going to go start doing in 2025 for this year is charging more for the books that I'm creating. So I'm going to be creating books and trying to get at least a $3 royalty per book that I sell so that I don't have to sell as many books to make a decent income. And I want to give a shout out to Danny on Demand who mentioned this because I don't think this is something that's talked about enough. But when you charge higher for your books, you have more money to play around with as far as ads go. And then you have a lot more wiggle room that you can use as a buffer when you're running ads. So I'm definitely going to be aiming to do that. Number three is translations. This definitely came in clutch, especially in Germany. So I'm going to be translating a lot more of my lower content books because it's not going to cost as much into different translations and see how they do. Excuse me. Running ads to multiple marketplaces is number four. This is one of the best ways to scale your business is to run ads to multiple marketplaces. So you guys saw that I ran ads to like 5 different marketplaces. I just didn't stick to the US marketplace. And I think a lot of people forget this. So I definitely leverage that power of running ads to what the US, the UK, to Canada, Germany, and Australia. Excuse me. Number 5 is going to be updating book covers and interiors. This definitely made a huge difference. Some of the books that I had that were stagnant, that had made sales previously, had reviews. I noticed that the designs were antiquated, so I had to step up and redo those designs. And so updating those book covers and the interiors definitely made a huge difference in sales when it came to Q4. Number 6 is creating sets of books to sell instead of just one-off books. Again, this is something that I talk a lot more about in From Publish to Profit. But again, when people have one of your books and they like it, they're more than likely, if they really love what you do, to buy more from you. So you want to give them multiple opportunities to buy and create multiple income streams for yourself with creating sets of books to sell instead of just one-off books. So that's just my thing. Number 7 was creating giftable books. I focused on creating books that were giftable year round, but especially in Q4 when people are really buying a lot of gifts. And then number 8 is using AI for design. Listen, if you're not using AI for design right now, you're definitely going to get left behind. I'm sorry to say it, but AI has come really, really far. And there's just different things that you can do to really create products that look stellar, that don't necessarily have to look like AI. And sometimes it's really difficult to tell, but if you're not good with, cover design, there's no excuse. You can use an AI tool like Ideogram or Audiogram or however you pronounce it, or even ChatGPT, which is something that I talk about in Easy AI Low Content Book Design. But you can use those tools to help you really come up with great cover designs, so that you don't have to worry about trying to design things yourself. And so anyway, using AI to redesign a lot of my covers definitely had a huge impact on my sales. All right. So these are the things that I definitely implemented. And so now what I wanted to do is talk really quickly about some of the things that I'm going to be doing in 2025 to grow the business even more. Okay. So the 3 things that I'm going to focus on for 2025 is number 1 is to create books that fetch a bigger royalty for me. As I mentioned, I'm going to be going for books that get me at least $3 plus in royalty per book. That's just me. Again, like I said, I just really want to get as much bang for my buck as I can. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Number 2 is going to be the year of translations. Again, I was really pleasantly surprised with how well translations worked for me this past Q4. So I'm really going to be doubling down on that. It's going to be all about translations with a lot of the low content books that I have, the newer ones, especially that I published that did well. I'm going to take those, I'm going to have those professionally translated, and I'm going to republish those into the different marketplaces to see how that works out. And then last but not least is going to be adding more books to the already profitable sets of books that I have that I've built brands around. That's going to be a biggie for me. I want to get some more books out there. I want to have a set of at least books where I have at least 15 to 20 books in the set. So that is going to be a huge goal for me this year, but I'm going to be finding more ways to add other books to those sets. And again, just building a brand around those where people can purchase them repeatedly and purchase more books from me when they come and they find these specific sets of books. So that pretty much wraps up, the overview and how things went for me for this December, this Q4. So I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm pretty excited with how things went for this December and Q4 as a whole, So I'd love to hear from you guys, how did you guys do? How did you fare? Are there any things that you can take away from this video that you're going to be implementing in your own businesses? And I just love to know. All right. So you guys keep rocking it out. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will be back with some more videos for you guys this year. And I'm pretty excited about what's to come. All right. Thanks so much. And if you have any questions, drop them below. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.